What's up, YouTube? We got a little project today. We got the 92 Mitsubishi here. We're having issues with the turn signal light controller here. This is broken. It no longer controls it. We've been having to unplug the battery so that the battery don't die because the lights don't turn off. So we got on Amazon. We ordered a new blinker, washer, the whole assembly here. We're just gonna pull the GT wheel out and go ahead and replace that assembly. So this is a old school mini truck, 92 Mitsubishi Mighty Max, 2.4 liter, 5-speed standard. It's pretty much all original. Good friend of mine, Nick Miller, bought this a few years ago. We put a new engine and transmission in it, put it back on the road. He had it painted, and he just bought a new one and pretty much said, here, you guys can have this, because I gave him the engine and transmission that's in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the camera off, and we'll get in there and do some work. Alright, so we're in the truck. First thing we're gonna do is just pop the GT horn off. Now we already have the battery disconnected. Got a 19 millimeter on the impact here. We're just gonna buzz the second bolt out. So basically what I just took off is the nut that holds the main steering wheel on, and there's 3 more bolts that are going into the adapter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the wheel itself, and they're still going to have the GT adapter in here. Then we're going to use a steering wheel, actually just a regular puller, because they got 3 bolts in here that are 120 degrees off set, and I'm going to pop those out, pop the adapter off with the wheel puller. Been quite some time since I worked on one of these. In my younger days, we used to make low riders out of these trucks and worked on them all the time. So we got the steering wheel out. Go ahead and remove the adapter. Essentially, this kit just comes with all kind of different screws and bolts here. We just got to find one that threads in, and oh, it looks like we're gonna have an issue here because we don't have a 3rd bolt in this kit. Alright, we're gonna pause the video. I'm gonna try to find me a 3rd bolt that'll match up to that, and we'll come right back. Alright, so my buddy Paul over here with all his stuff, I'll shoot a video of that, actually had a bolt that the threads matched up. So I was able to put that bolt. I had to stack some washers on there, but that allowed us to get all 3 positions on there and center up this puller. So now that I got the puller on there, we simply tighten this bolt in the middle, and it's just going to pull that GT hub right off. Voila, 1 GT hub removed. All right, so my next thing is I'm going to undo some screws and everything on this column and go ahead and break all this apart. And I'm gonna take the video. We're not gonna shoot the video for that because that's pretty simple. And I'll get down here to this inner workings and then we'll show you how to remove that. So I got the cover removed. This is the lower cover. This is the upper cover. You just got 6 of these screws in the bottom here that holds that on. We ended up having to go get some silicone grease. The factory unit's got grease in here to keep it all lubed up. The new one don't. Although we went to Walmart to get this, and they would not let me purchase. They would not let me carry this out to the front of the store to check it out. They wanted me to buy the grease in automotive and then continue my shopping. They thought I was going to steal a $2 pack of grease, so I pretty much left my cart in Walmart behind grease, and I vowed to never shop at Walmart again. So the replacement unit that we got, this is actually, I believe, for like a Mitsubishi Galant or something. It is functionally identical. The wire comes out on the upper left on the replacement. The wire comes out on the, the new one is on the upper right. It's right here on this side. The old one is on the lower left, and it comes out here. But other than that, it does match up. So that shouldn't be an issue. This unit's pretty easy to remove. It's just got a couple of Phillips screws in it, and it pops right off. I have the ignition switch, the actual tumblers that's on the back of here that turns the ignition 1, ignition 2, and accessories on, is also out of a Galant. We had an issue with that and it broke. We got all these parts off of Amazon. I'll post a link to them in the bottom of the description. Mitsubishi is kind of like GM. They reuse lots of parts. So the good thing is that they don't make a lot of stuff for the trucks anymore, but you can borrow it from other Mitsubishi vehicles. I'm just undoing the wiring harness here. That old unit just slides right off. The unit slides right on. Like I said, so this is just going to go around there and underneath now. No biggie, it's just in a different spot. Put these screws back in. Open the, now this is silicone grease. This is actually spark plug. I got this from O'Reilly's. So it's pretty much all the same stuff. You're just looking for 100% dielectric silicone composition. We'll just get some of that all in there and move it back and forth. On the end for the horn. Alright, now installation is the reverse procedure. Line this up. As you can see, the 2 plugs there is the same. wire colors are a little bit different, but like I said, it's functionally, it's kind of hard to get that in the light there. Functionally the same. And I'll just squirt some of this grease inside of here also. That keeps it from the connections from getting all gummed up and keeps everything working good. Plug that into the harness. Put this little, I love these little Mitsubishi tie wraps. They're reusable. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get these covers back on and get all these screws put in. One thing I do want to show you is if you look right here, you see these tracks, those little 3 tracks, and you look right here on this indicator, you'll see they got a bump here, and a bump here on these. See one here when they're 120 degrees apart. So when you turn the blinker on, all that does is the grooves that are in here will grab these little knobs, and then it turns your blinker off. So you just want to be sure that these little bumps end up in each one of these little slots, and you're not just jamming that down where it, your blinker don't function properly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the plastic covers back on, and then I'll show you reinstalling the steering wheel. All right, so at this point, it's just like putting together a regular GT wheel. We'll go ahead and slide that through there. That's your horn line. We'll slide that through on here, get all that nice and flushed out, and then we're basically gonna line all these holes up and put them 3 little bolts in. All right, so I've got the 3 bolts in. That's kind of, my fingers are too big to fit in the hole, so I didn't want to just run up time on the camera. So the horn wire's going through. Next thing is we'll go ahead and put a little bit of silicone lube, bulb grease, whatever. You just want to lube up this back plate. That's where the piece for your horn rides. If you don't lube that up, it's gonna go squeak, 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 squeak. So essentially what we do here is when we took it off, we know it was nice and straight. So we get it where it's still straight. Your steering wheel don't look all crooked. You basically tap it on. We got 1 lock nut that goes on in the middle, and then we got the nut, or 1 lock washer, excuse me, and the nut. And, you just go ahead and zip her back on with the impact. All right, you hook up the horn. All right, so 2 things. I did put this horn has 2 connections, so one's always grounded, one's break the ground. The battery was disconnected, and we had to go hook the battery back up. So you just hook this one. If you're doing on a Mitsubishi, you do the one without the ground symbol. You center that up on the steering wheel. Go ahead and pop it in. Now when we turn the key on, the horn blows. So that's it. Basically removal and reinstallation of a GT steering wheel, replacement of your wiper controls, blazing fast wipers on a Mitsubishi. That's the next thing we got to do, is I'm going to make a pulse width modulator to make those run a little bit faster. But replacement of your blinker, wiper controls, removal and reinstallation of a GT steering wheel. All right, YouTube, have a good one.